Hey, welcome back, everybody. Thanks for sticking around to the first half hour. Pat, bring us home on the grease problem, would you please?
Well, the bottom line is socialism requires that you borrow a ton of money from other people and use their money to be able to keep the free ride going. That's what socialism basically is. Communism is socialism with a gun. We've talked about that 100 times. And the bottom line is why work? Why work? Why produce? One of the real problems with Greece is they have no large corporations that have the ability to move stuff offshore. They don't have the ability. They don't have the infrastructure. They don't have the will or desire to send their goods anywhere. I mean, they produce oil. They produce something else. I can't remember what it is. But basically, they produce olive oil and fruits, dried fruits of some kind. The bottom line is, if it wasn't for Dole and the other giant conglomerate, I can't remember the name of it, if it wasn't for them, they wouldn't even be able to export that. And the bottom line is you can't get your way out of a socialistic trap that they're in without being able to produce something. They have thousands and thousands of mom and pop shops. That's how Greece operates. But they don't have anybody that can export their goods. So there's no real drive to do anything better. It's kind of like the crappy Rada car in Russia. For years and years, the Russians thought they was the greatest car ever until the wall came down. They went, holy smokes, look at how much further they're advanced. Socialism sucks the life out of an economic system. It drives everybody's drive down to nothing. Because why work if you're going to get all this stuff from other people? And that's not universally true of everybody, but it's generally true when you do this. And so they're really kind of stuck. They don't have the ability to work their way out of it. Their only option is at this point say, all right, we don't owe anybody and we're going to hit the drachma and we're going to go back into
You're going to devalue it.
Yeah, and go back into our own little shell, which is where they were before they joined the European Union.
Yeah, well, when they got in the European Union, they took off like gangbusters, but because everybody wanted to come and everybody wanted cheap stuff from them, and
no border control.
Yeah,
it was nice. The other problem, and I'm not sure how big of a problem this is, but they're taking all the refugees from the Middle East. They're taking them in, they're providing them.
Greece and Italy for sure. Yeah,
yeah, and you're like, that's got to be expensive. That has to be real expensive. So. And in the same vein, that's the kind of thing Bernie Sanders wants for us. He wants to socialize America and put us on the same course as Greece is.
Because, bring it on.
Yeah, because there ain't anybody going to be bailing us out except the Chinese. And the Chinese told Obama way back when, we're done. We're not giving you more money, so you're going to have to balance your own books. So, if you have our number one trader going, we're done buying your debt, that's a very clear signal that we're already overextended, I mean, the other thing that really screws everybody is if Moody and Fitch downgrade your credit, you're just sunk. I mean, you can't do it.
Ask New Jersey.
Yes, ask the United States, ask Greece.
Yeah. If we're gonna start talking about a little bit of the left problem that the Democrats kind of have in the primary, we can certainly do that. And I was sort of suggesting that in the context of, Hillary has been beaten up a little bit over the last several weeks, and it's very clear that the energy on the Democratic side is with a Bernie Sanders, and yet national polling still has Mrs. Clinton way out in front. Like, I don't think he's not even sniffing her, sniffing the tracks her pantsuit leads in the snow at this point. So I was just curious, like, what you thought about, because I'm sure that you've been following it a little bit, what you thought about what's the disconnect between all of what seems to be the sincere passion, not that Hillary can't bring them out, because she's certainly been bringing them out now that she's started her real campaign. But it seems like Bernie has got kind of a Ron Paul sort of problem. Everybody loves him in the base, and the base is where all the energy is, and everybody wants to see him do really well, and yet he can't crack through with those national polls. What do you think? Well,
I would agree that it's Ron Paul kind of thing, but I'm also going to remind everybody about Barack Obama. Hillary was coronated before, and it didn't work out well for her. And Barack Obama was pretty much in this same position. And then, he finally got his act together, and suddenly he's charging through.
Mm-hmm.
He's gaining momentum. It's way too early in the game to write off either Jim Webb. Jim Webb is running on the Democratic
Yep.
but he's not getting any traction. You don't see his signs anywhere.
No.
But I will tell you, you see a lot of Bernie Sanders signs around, right?
Yep. He's pulling it. He's pulling off. He was able to get I think 3,000 or 4,000 people to come to an event with just a Facebook post. I mean, I'm not saying that he's offering something. Well, he certainly is offering something that other candidates are not. That's absolutely true.
Well, he's offering a different vision.
Right. And he's offering a different vision than Democrats have heard.
A more radical one.
For 16 years of Democratic presidencies. I mean, this is not Bill Clinton. It's not Barack Obama.
Well, the other thing I think dragging Hillary down is, don't get me wrong, you don't think Benghazi is a big deal.
It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal for her candidacy. It really isn't.
Not a big deal for her candidacy, but it is something that's dragging her down. And this is why. Because she's attached to Barack Obama, and there's a lot of policies, particularly foreign policies, that Obama has followed that is particularly distasteful to the left. We've talked about them before.
Well, that's true.
She's connected to that.
That's true, but she's also connected to that from her own Iraq war vote. That's a problem for her. That's still going to be a problem for her. And she is attached to her husband's foreign policy, which a lot of liberals didn't like either, because it was a lot of ignoring genocides in Rwanda, which I mean, you can't.
Can't police the world.
It's a tough one. It's tough to hang that on Bill, except that they did. They really did.
They ignored, and the thing is,
they didn't think it was going to get that bad. They missed it. If you hear him talk about it, he says, "Look, we missed it. We didn't think that the Hutus are coming down. We didn't know that's what was going to happen." Well, you need to know that.
Yeah, you do need to know it. And
or the Balkans, those are the big things.
Well, but the thing is, he intervened in the Balkans, and here's a criticism that I've heard often from the left about Bill Clinton, that he's a racist. Well, how come you intervened with the white folk but not the black folk? I'm not sure if that's a fair thing.
I've never heard that from anybody on the left.
Oh yeah, I heard it all the time back then. Well, why? Well, how come you're not coming down there?
He went into Somalia. I mean,
yeah,
look how well that worked.
He didn't. Well, we were there to deliver food in Somalia. We had a mission that was doing well. Bill Clinton took over, decided he knew what he was doing in the military, and screwed all that up. Well, that's a conversation for a different day. We're going to be back right after this. We're going to continue to talk about Bernie Sanders and Hillary. We're also going to start talking about Donald Trump. And I'm not necessarily sure he's shot himself in the foot. So we'll be back right after the break. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in.